A major energy discovery in China's Shandong province is sending ripples through the global energy landscape. Experts say this resource, largely unknown to the general public until recently, may hold the key to China's long-term energy independence and sustainability. Dubbed more precious than gold by Chinese netizens and scientists alike, this subterranean treasure is not only abundant but also renewable, clean, and powerful enough to support the country's energy needs for thousands of years. This astonishing development has not gone unnoticed. U.S. media have reacted with a mix of concern and disbelief, asking pointedly, why does China always seem to find the good stuff? Let's dive into what this resource is, why it matters, and what implications it holds for both China and the world. As one of the world's most populous nations and a rapidly developing industrial powerhouse, China faces enormous energy challenges. A stable and sustainable energy supply is essential not only for its economic growth but also for maintaining quality of life for its 1.4 billion citizens. While China has long relied on coal and oil to power its cities and industries, these traditional energy sources come with steep environmental costs and long-term supply limitations. That's why the discovery of vast reserves of hot dry rock geothermal energy, HDR, in Shandong is such a game-changer. HDR is a type of geothermal resource that involves solid, superheated rocks located several kilometers beneath the Earth's surface. Unlike traditional geothermal systems that depend on underground water or steam, HDR contains no fluids, just intensely hot rock that can be tapped to produce energy through artificial stimulation and circulation systems. Early estimates from geological surveys suggest that the HDR reserves found in Shandong could yield energy equivalent to at least 18.8 billion tons of coal. That's enough to meet China's current energy consumption needs for nearly 4 millennia. Perhaps even more impressive is the clean nature of this energy. Since HDR systems do not produce greenhouse gases during energy extraction, they are widely seen as one of the most promising forms of green, renewable energy in existence today. What sets HDR apart from other energy sources is its combination of scalability, reliability, and sustainability. The Earth's inner core maintains an estimated temperature of 5,400 degrees Celsius, hotter than the surface of the Sun, and continuously radiates heat outward. That heat warms subsurface rock layers, creating a virtually inexhaustible energy source. Even if we were to tap into these rocks for centuries, they would regenerate as long as the Earth's core remains active, which scientists estimate will continue for billions of years. While Shandong's discovery is a major milestone, it's not China's first encounter with HDR. In earlier years, significant HDR resources were identified in western China's Qinghai province, particularly in the Qinghai Basin. However, those early discoveries failed to translate into large-scale development due to limited technology, low energy prices, and lack of strategic urgency at the time. The situation changed dramatically in 2019, when new HDR reserves were discovered in coastal regions of Shandong, specifically in Rizhao and Weihai. These regions, close to major industrial and population centers, reignited national interest and investment. Since then, China has accelerated research and development in geothermal extraction technologies, setting the stage for HDR to become a pillar of its future energy strategy. Globally, the potential scale of HDR is staggering. Scientists estimate that Earth's continental crust may contain HDR resources equivalent to 49.5 million billion tons of standard coal, more than 30 times the total energy available from all remaining fossil fuel reserves combined. And this figure covers only the land surface, which makes up less than 30% of the Earth. The ocean floor, which remains largely unexplored, could hold even more. The advantages of HDR go far beyond volume and renewability. Because HDR involves solid rock, it produces no liquid or gaseous emissions during the extraction process. That means no carbon dioxide, no sulfur dioxide, no methane leaks, none of the harmful byproducts that plague fossil fuel energy. In theory, HDR could provide zero-emission electricity and heating on a massive scale. In contrast, China's current energy mix is still heavily reliant on coal, which accounts for over 55% of its total energy consumption. Although investments in renewables such as wind, solar, and hydro have increased dramatically in recent years, these sources face limitations. Wind and solar are intermittent and weather-dependent, while hydropower is constrained by geography and environmental concerns. Meanwhile, coal combustion continues to produce massive amounts of carbon emissions, contributing to global warming, acid rain, and poor air quality. Oil, another major energy source, adds to the problem with spills, land subsidence, and ecological damage. HDR presents a clear path forward. But as with any powerful technology, responsible development is key. Extracting energy from HDR involves drilling deep into the Earth's crust, sometimes as deep as 10 kilometers. Such projects must be handled with precision and care to avoid triggering seismic activity, damaging groundwater systems, or disturbing the surrounding ecology. One concern is that excessive or unregulated drilling could outpace the rate at which the Earth reheats the rocks, leading to premature depletion. While HDR is classified as renewable, that renewability depends on sustainable usage. Overexploitation could undermine the very benefits that make HDR attractive in the first place. That's why Chinese authorities are emphasizing measured, scientifically informed extraction methods, combined with strict environmental oversight. HDR also has versatile real-world applications. Beyond electricity generation, its heat can be used to warm buildings during winter, reducing reliance on fossil-fueled heating systems. In agriculture, HDR could help stabilize the temperature of irrigation water, boosting crop yields, especially in colder climates. There's even potential for HDR to support tourism and wellness industries through the development of artificial hot springs and spa resorts. The economic benefits could be profound. Not only could HDR reduce China's dependence on imported energy, but it could also drive job creation, regional development, and technological innovation. Already, Chinese universities and research institutes are launching new geothermal research programs and partnering with energy firms to pilot commercial-scale HDR power plants. Of course, HDR is not the only emerging resource in China's energy portfolio. The country is also exploring combustible ice, methane hydrates, traditional geothermal systems, and advanced nuclear technologies. The government's 14th five-year plan explicitly highlights the importance of diversifying energy sources and accelerating the transition to a low-carbon economy. Taken together, these efforts point to a seismic shift in global energy politics. As China ramps up its clean energy capabilities, it not only reduces its environmental footprint but also positions itself as a potential exporter of green technology and expertise. That shift is bound to challenge traditional energy exporters and reshape international energy alliances. In conclusion, the discovery and development of dry hot rock geothermal energy in Shandong marks a pivotal moment for China, and possibly the world. If harnessed responsibly, HDR could become one of the most important cornerstones of the global clean energy transition. But its promise will only be fulfilled through cautious management, technological innovation, and a commitment to long-term sustainability. Thanks for watching. If you found this video informative, be sure to subscribe so you won't miss the next update on major global developments. See you next time.